This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Suzi Steiger joining us here, the owner of travel and travel agent, I should say travel owner. RMP Travel is the name. She is not an agent. Well, technically she is, but she is like worldwide. We're talking 45 years of experience, and she's helping large groups, small groups, corporations all over the world. And she can help you with in-house staff travels and everything, making sure everything always runs smoothly. And again, we're excited she's back here, hailing live from Atlantic Beach, New York. But really, as a destination management company, she's working everywhere. Welcome back, sweetie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I know last time we talked a lot about the luxury experience. I mean, there's a lot you have to offer. So, if you don't mind just telling us a little overview as to, who you are, what you do before we start today's notes. I know we're going to get into Broadway.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So RMP Travel is my company. It was started in 1979,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a full-service destination management company, receptive tour operator, and we bring in clients from all over the world into the United States. And we specialize in New York, of course, because we're here. That's our headquarters. But we do major cities throughout the United States, and all kinds of programs, corporate, leisure, luxury, theater, a million things, student programs, lots of things. So today I wanted to focus on Broadway shows because we have the Tony Awards coming up on June 8th. It's always the first
First
Sunday
Sunday.
in June. You know that, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's an exciting season this year. There's 42 Broadway shows playing right now. That's such a nice thing since we were in COVID and there was nothing. So this has been a really great experience. I was very lucky last night. I got the opportunity to go to Broadway and see Hell's Kitchen, which I have been dying to see for quite some time, and I just fell in love. Alicia Keys is one of my favorites. Her version of New York is
Mm.
mine. I know everybody likes Frank Sinatra, but Alicia Keys is
Mm-hmm.
my favorite. The show was amazing. The voices, the talent, the singing, the dancing, everything. It's really something I would recommend seeing. I really loved it. Um,
Beautiful.
it I didn't even know it, but it's the story of her life. And she grew up in Manhattan Plaza, which is a big building on the west side, and that's where a lot of actors live. And so she learned to become an actress there. I used to go there swimming when I was pregnant with
Oh
my
my goodness.
daughter.
Oh wow.
But anyway, I want to just talk a little bit about Broadway. It was a
Yeah.
very active time in the theater district last night. I saw the producers, one of the shows that's up for 10 nominations for a Tony. They were actually filming it last night. So they're probably going to feature a part of it on the show, on the Tony show. I'll tell you more about that. Um,
Sure.
there's a lot of detail here, so I'm going to have to
I
be
know, I
quiet.
know. We're going to break down all the nominees and all that as well and get started. I can't believe there's so much to talk about. My goodness. And by
There
the way, just want to point out it's at Radio City, right? You said the
It's
first
at
week.
Radio City Music Hall on 50th Street and
Mm-hmm.
6th Avenue. There are tickets available. They're now being sold for a lot of money. They're being resold. So, but if anybody wants to go and hang out outside Radio City, I'm sure that you can see some of the actors going in on the red carpet. You know about that. So,
Yeah,
it's an exciting time in New York.
it sure is. All right. So let's get started. You want to talk about some of the nominees, right? They were just, well, they were announced Thursday morning, but that was a while ago, right?
Um, Well, Hell's Kitchen I just told you about. I
Oh,
also want to mention The Great Gatsby, which was a show from 2024, which is
okay.
all about the Gilded Age.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great show to use to plan a tour around. You can do a tour of the Gold Coast in New York, or the Hamptons, or Newport, Rhode Island, and the Mansion. So it fits
Okay.
in with all of that.
Ooh.
There are three shows right now that are nominated for 10 Tony Awards each. So they're competing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's Death Becomes Her,
Okay.
and um, sorry, maybe Happy Ending, and Buena Vista Social Club.
Okay.
And Buena Vista Social Club is an amazing story. I'm trying to find the paper on that, but it is the story of when Cuba really lost in the revolution, and it's a love story, it's a life story, it's a family story, and it reminds me of Hell's Kitchen a little bit. I think it's a great show. It talks about love and all of that. So some of the other shows, so maybe Happy Ending is a show about two worker bots in Seoul, Korea,
Okay.
and they have a relationship. They form a relationship, but they're like computerized beings. So it's an interesting show to watch. And they sort of fall in love as computers could or may not be able to. So it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Um, Nicole Scherzinger is up for 6 Tonys, I think, for Sunset Boulevard. She gives a wonderful performance. Um, The Outsiders also opened I guess they were recognized last year, but they're also, it's a wonderful show. I think a lot of school groups know The Outsiders, and it's a good show for students.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Louis Armstrong musical, I have not yet had a chance to see, has one nomination. People have raved about it. Sounds wonderful. Was a TV show, and now it's on Broadway.
I
It's about
remember
the
that.
Marilyn Monroe,
Mom
right?
used to watch that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that has 2 nominations. That's at the Brooks Atkinson, and Joshua Bergasse for Best Choreography is nominated. Um, 2 nominations for Real Women Have Curves. I have not seen that yet.
Okay.
Um, Betty Boop the musical. That's a new one.
Oh, I love
Has
her.
Yeah, has 3 nominations for Best Leading Actress in a Musical, Jasmine Amy Rogers, Best Choreography, Jerry Mitchell, and Best Costume Design of a Musical, Greg Barnes. I have not seen this one either. Operation Mincemeat, a new musical.
Okay.
It's also 4 Tony nominations for Best Musical, Best Actor in a Musical, Jack Malone. Um, Best Score of a Musical as well, David Cumming. Um, lots of exciting things. Redwood is a new musical. I don't, oh, Adina Menzel is in that, who was originally
Oh,
in
yeah.
Wicked, that
Mm-hmm.
voice. Um, Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club is playing on Broadway. I don't believe that it's nominated, but it's a great rendition of it. Uh, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Did you get to go for Mother's Day to see a Broadway show or no?
Nope,
Yeah.
I ended up at home. Well, we ended up going out to lunch and then back to my sister's house. We never made it to the city. Too much
Okay.
of a hike. We never looked into it, but I did look and I want to go. I think since the kids never been to a Broadway show, I was trying to debate between Aladdin, Lion King, Wicked. I don't know what would be best, but I was going to ask your advice. But I want to go. Not this weekend, the weekend after my son's communion. I told him would go like maybe that Sunday.
Yeah, I think Aladdin and Lion King for a show would be really great. Yeah,
Okay.
Wicked is wonderful too, but they sort of know that story. I think that, Disney just puts things out in such a big way that I think it's very impressionable
All right. Good.
for a show. Um, and Juliet is another show that came out this year.
Okay.
Lots of great music, lots of great songs that everybody recognizes. Hamilton is still playing and still a big draw.
Mm-hmm.
MJ the Musical also is still playing, and that's a fun show. The dancing and music, of course.
Okay.
And Wicked is great as
Mm-hmm.
well. 6 is about Henry VIII.
Okay.
It's Henry VII.
Or
Sorry,
which?
the 8 wives of Henry VII.
That's okay. I got it.
Moulin Rouge is still playing with a lot of old famous music as well. Um, Aladdin, the genie charms everybody, so I think your kids would probably love that.
All right. Oh my
Chicago is still
goodness.
playing.
Uh-huh.
Um, and Hadestown is also a great musical. It's about Orpheus and the Greek myth that people read about it. I'm not finding Buena Vista Social Club. That show is quite something. That's the show that they were filming last night. The show
Ah,
on the Tony Awards, but this is the show about Cuba, and it's so amazing. It's first of all the dance, the singing, the stories. It's really special, and I would compare it with Hell's Kitchen in terms of it being a life story and a lot about the background of the people that it really tells you who they are, who Cuba is now open to visit again, and it's a very interesting culture. Um, no, I'm running out.
okay.
So I would recommend watching the Tonys on June 8th,
June
and
8th. And you're going to be there?
I'm not gonna be there.
Oh, I
I
thought you were
actually
going.
just looked at tickets today to see what was available, and I'm
How
not,
much? Tell me, give me
they're,
that.
they're about $3,600 right now for what, I mean, that's
I
not what they
love the
cost to
I love the
begin with.
view in front of my television. Yes, like I said,
Right.
I've covered it before. It's chaos. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's really a lot to see. And I think
Wow.
it's a great opportunity to come and, well, to watch it on TV or do whatever and get familiar with what you want to see. And then this can be great for any kind of group that wants to focus their itinerary or really get to see a few shows when they come here. They can also request having one of the actors from one of the shows come and have a meal with them and talk about their life as an actor and tell them all about what it's like being in that business in New York City, because it's a tough one.
Oh my
But
goodness.
once people get up there and they get famous, it's wonderful. But I think the experience, the trials, all of that is wonderful too. I've had a lot of friends, even my daughter wanted to be an actress, but now she's a therapist instead.
Now,
Changes.
do you have any predictions? Do you think like who's going to win big? Do you have any inside scoop?
Um, I really do think Buena Vista Social Club is gonna come away with a lot of awards.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very special, very unique, and it really, it just shows a culture and a livelihood and a life story that I think is just magical. And the dancing is so incredible. It wasn't anything like anything I had ever seen before. I don't know how you contort your body that way, but it was quite impressive. It was fun.
Oh my goodness. That's
But
awesome.
I think that's a great one. And I don't know, there's a lot of good stuff. I have a feeling that there will be, Nicole Scherzinger might win. We'll see. She has a big following. I think there'll be a cross section. I think there'll be a cross section of different shows for different reasons. Um, my notes are all out of order. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. No, not a problem.
But I think some of the oldies but goodies are still great too. It doesn't have to be a new show. I think that there's so much on Broadway. You know, I see a fair amount, but I realize how much I haven't seen from looking at this. So it's something that you can really, you know, keep, keep filling your life with. It's very rich and it's a wonderful experience.
Yeah, and my heart breaks for those that live so far. We're so lucky to be so close and take advantage. A lot of us sometimes don't even take advantage of the opportunity for being so close. And me, I used to live in the city, so I used to go all the time and I've experienced it, but I've yet to enrich my children with it. But these people all over the country dying to come to New York, and it's right here at our fingertips. And it's really something I want to immerse my children with, and I haven't yet. I took them to see the Gazillion Bubble Show. That was about it. But
Right.
they see the Radio City Rockettes every year. That is a staple.
Well,
So
that's great.
they do that every year since they were babies. So they've past 10 years. That's a tradition. We do that. But it's really, I want to, start off with the Disneys and then bring them to the regular plays and, musicals and get them into it and this is why his communion's coming up Memorial Day weekend. So I'm talking about maybe going that weekend or that Sunday after his communion. Everyone's like, well, we might have a barbecue. So the following weekend, but I think it's so important. Now, just tell me, for example, people can come to you, right? And you're
Right.
booking exactly, with corporations, with tours all over. You have a big following. So, for example, if someone's interested in going to a Broadway show, taking their corporation to a Broadway show, these are the type of things you're arranging for people, right? Part of the
Right.
experience.
Absolutely. Um, it's interesting because we have a group from Serbia coming in September, and I really wanted them to see Hell's Kitchen, but then they
Mm-hmm.
decided that they haven't seen any Broadway, so they really want to see Lion King. And I think it's great because if they haven't seen Broadway, it's such a great show in terms of the music and the choreography and the costumes and all of it. So it's a great introduction.
So wait, Lion King or Aladdin? Which one should I do first?
It's a toss up. I think you have to do that. You're ultimately gonna have to do them both, so, but, it doesn't matter. I think everybody loves the genie in Aladdin, so maybe that would be
Perfect.
a good start.
All right, thank you so much. We still have just a few more minutes left, and to sum up for today, I mean, clearly you're doing, obviously we're talking about Broadway tickets, yes, and plenty of Broadway. But now, what about some of the other things you do? Just to mention for people, I mean, you're doing exclusive type of workshops as well when it comes to Broadway shows too, right?
We do. We work sometimes in conjunction with the Broadway Museum. They have some wonderful programs and they have a very nice VIP insiders tour where you get to
Mm-hmm.
see some of the stage sets or some of the wonderful things or photos or whatever
Mm-hmm.
from old Broadway shows from way back when. A lot of the Broadway shows contribute their costumes and things like that to the museum so that it's the only place you can go to get to see it. So including that is special, including an actor from a Broadway show. You can pick the Broadway
Yeah.
show and I can get somebody from that show to come and have dinner with the group and walk around and talk about how they became an actor and sing for them, dance for them. It just depends on what the group wants. Um, we can do it with students too. There's always an opportunity to meet the cast after the show. If a group wants to stay in the theater after everybody leaves and sit down in the orchestra and have a chance to do that.
Wonderful.
There's all kinds of things, all kinds of backstage tours and it's exciting. It's exciting. It really feels like last night there were people standing outside waiting for signatures on their playbills. It's exciting to see. It's nice.
Well,
Very
thank
busy.
you. Well, it's always a pleasure having you here. Sorry for the late start today. We'll get it right next time. Remind
Okay.
us how we can contact you, please.
Okay, you can call us at 1-800-223-0864. Our website is rmptravelinc.com. You can email us at operations@rmptvl.com, or suzy.steiger@rmptvl.com,
Uh-huh.
or 212-581-8051 if you're local.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day, sweetheart, and we'll talk
You
soon,
too.
okay? Thank
Okay,
you.
looking forward. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.